My. Commenting on our reading today for July the 8th, which we began in Amos chapter 9 with some great words there about the day when the plowman will overtake the reaper. What a hope. And I pray that somehow in my day that I will see that take place, that the harvest will be so great. The treading of the grapes, him that soweth the seed, and the mountain shall drip or drop of sweet wine. And I will bring this, he's going to restore. He has restored them to their land, and I believe they have been planted there. But I'm wanting to see the harvest of souls that's like that, where the plowman overtakes the reaper. That's what's my desire. And so a tremendous reading. And the restoring of the tabernacle of David, which was a tabernacle that did not have the limited access. There was no veil. There were no, as we would say, probably boundaries around it, that everyone could have access to the tabernacle of Yahweh and find the presence of Yahweh. And so some amazing stuff. And then we jump over into Hosea, and I don't understand God. But here God had commanded Hosea to take Gomer, a woman that was a harlot. And then they had the 3 children. But it was a testimony and a type of Israel and their backslidden ways, falling away from God and following after other gods, which God is attributing to lovers in this parable, so to speak, and following after Baal. And because she did not know, verse 8, chapter 2, that I gave her corn and wine and oil and multiplied her silver and gold, somehow she failed to process. God, help us to get the right processes in our mind to understand who you are and what you are wanting to do, oh God, in us. And so there we come upon some of the judgments and things that are going to happen. There's not going to be a king. There's not going to be a sacrifice for many days, an ephod or teraphim, but afterwards God will return. The mercy of God, him returning to his people, the forgiveness of God, and that's what we see intermingled right here with Jonah, in which we get to read about a prophet that God called. And it's our understanding from some of the history that we've read that Nineveh was a very wicked city that killed prophets. I've heard some very grotesque things about the way that they would torture the men of God. And so Jonah did not choose to go around the year 767. Chose not to go, chose to flee the other direction. The way God worked to prove to the men on that ship that Yahweh was the God of Jonah. Although Jonah wasn't worthy, we're never worthy. Help us, though, to walk somewhat worthily, God, that we're striving, making efforts to do your will. And so Jonah was thrown in overboard, and immediately the tempest ceased, and the men made vows to Yahweh and believed, and God prepared a fish. I wonder if we just stopped and did some hermeneutics on this chapter, this book, this little book. Think about that. God prepared a fish. God prepared a gourd. God prepared a worm. There are many things that God prepares in our lives, some to bring us happiness and joy, some to test us. And so here we are. Jonah's in the belly of hell, he said. And yet he said, I will look again toward thy holy temple. God, let us never forget where to look for our help. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, the maker of heaven and earth. And so in the belly of hell, belly of the well, the great fish, it's not called a well here. It is called a well in the New Testament by the translators. But Yahweh spake unto the fish, and it vomited out Jonah upon the dry land. And he went into Nineveh, preached the message that God told him to preach, and Nineveh repented. And it's amazing how angry Jonah gets about the gourd, and how angry he is about the mercy of God. Whereas if it weren't for the mercy of God, he would have died in the belly of the fish. And so somehow God says to us in Micah that we are to love, we're to do justly and love mercy and to walk humbly with our God. We all love mercy when it's us receiving it. We need to love it when it's others receiving it, because mercy is never deserved, whether it's for us or others. And so some amazing things that we can look at there in the story of Jonah. God is working for us. He knows how to get us to the place of repentance if only we will cry out to him. You know the source. Let's walk before him with a repentant heart that says, I want to please you every day. And whatever it is your will that you're calling me to do, God, I want to be doing your will to bless your kingdom and your name. God bless you.